Hey guys, John Sinn here, and today I have some tips for getting out of the friend zone. So let's talk briefly about getting out of the friend zone. The friend zone is a terrible place. It's what happens when a girl is not attracted to you and you're attracted to her. Now there's two variations of the friend zone, and I want to kind of make clear the differences between them, because there's the real friend zone where you're actually friends with the girl, you guys hang out at least like once a week, once every 2 weeks, you guys talk on a regular basis, and you're actually friends and you want something more. That there's something you can do about. In those situations, the girl is at least sort of invested in the interaction, and she sort of at least likes you as a friend, and there you can at least do things to kind of try to escape. But there's another type of friend zone, and what that means is that girls are just not into you. So the second type of friend zone is what happens when a girl, let's say you've gone out on one date with, or you just met her and you tried to ask her out, and she was like, yeah, I don't really think about you like that, I just think of you as like a friend. That's not really a friend zone issue. That's just her kind of trying to let you down in a nice way. And in those situations, when there's no investment, there's not really anything we're going to be able to do, because she doesn't actually want to be your friend. She actually just doesn't want to talk to you anymore, but she's trying to let you down easy. And if you really pursue a friendship under her like kind of newly set boundaries, you may find, especially if you just met her, that it's going to be difficult to even be friends. So the first key to getting out of the friend zone is to recognize whether you're actually in the friend zone, meaning you actually are her friend, or you're just some guy she's blowing off. So if you're just some guy she's blowing off, you want to just move on. Don't get obsessed with these girls. Like, you guys know we had that like killing recently in Santa Barbara, and like a lot of that stuff comes from being obsessed with girls, like being obsessed with girls who don't like you. If a girl's not into you, that's her right, but don't continue to give them attention. If a girl's not into you, just move on. There's no point in trying to kind of convince a girl or earn a girl, like, or win her over, because none of that really works. This is the real world, not a Seth Rogen movie. And none of that stuff works in the real world. So if you're in the first type of friend zone where you are her friend, I'm going to give you 3 tips for kind of breaking out of the friend zone. If you're in the second, you really just need to move on. Just give it up. It's okay. Don't be so obsessed with getting every girl or getting any girl, and you'll be a much happier person. So let's say you're in the friend zone, and you hang out with this girl, you see her, and you really want something more. What are you going to do? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to break contact for 2 weeks. So if you talk all the time, you hang out, you're going to go 2 weeks with minimal contact. If she texts you, you can text her back like one time, but don't text, don't call, don't try to hang out for 2 weeks. That's kind of like a reset period. That's going to allow you to kind of let her miss you, give her the gift of missing you, and show her that you're not going to just like fawn around her and just kind of hope that if you just keep hanging out and keep trying, that eventually things will work, because they won't. The second thing you need to do is you need to set boundaries. Set boundaries both for yourself and for her. So if you guys go out and you see her like flirting with other dudes, or she like leaves you to like go hang out with some dude or something, you need to set boundaries and say that's not okay. And you also need to set boundaries on yourself, which means you're not going to fawn over her, you're not going to break plans with other girls, you're not going to be afraid to talk to other girls in front of her. You're going to have some sort of kind of discipline to your interactions with her. And third, you're going to let your intentions be known, because if you want something more than a friendship, you're not really friends. You're trying to enact some sort of long-term seduction plan. Let's be honest about it. We deal with deception, not self-deception. One of the things I always say to my students. So we're going to let our intentions be known. We're going to say, look, recently I've developed feelings for you. and it's going to be really hard for me to be friends with you. So I don't know if you have those kind of feelings for me, but if you don't, then I'm going to have to kind of go away for a little bit until I either start dating someone else or start being interested in someone else, because it's just not fair to me to constantly be around you when it makes me feel bad about myself. That's kind of what you're going to do. Now, will this always work? No, not necessarily. Sometimes girls are just not into you. Sometimes they're not attracted to you physically. Sometimes they're not into you personality-wise. Sometimes they would just never date someone like you, and that's okay. That's their right. But it's also your right to not keep putting yourself and your heart on the line over and over again to keep getting rejected. They have the right to reject you. You have the right to stop getting rejected by ending the interactions and not socializing under the rules that you don't want to deal with. So those are some tips for getting out of the friend zone. The friend zone is tricky. First thing is to recognize if you're actually in the friend zone and you're actually friends, or she's just kind of trying to politely blow you off. If it's the latter, then you want to just move on. If it's the former, you want to try these 3 tips. That's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll have more tips for you very soon.
Hey guys, Bobby Rio here, and I want to quickly tell you about a live online workshop that myself and John Sinn do several times a week called 4 Simple Steps to Becoming a Sexual Closer and Get More Hot Girls into Bed and Avoid the Friend Zone for Good. In this live workshop, John breaks down his proven step-by-step method for making sure that when you go out on a date or when you meet a girl, you follow this little formula he has to get her into bed. Now, this is a live workshop that John and I do. We do it a couple times a week. So if you go to unlockherlegs.com/closer, you can see the next time we're going to be doing this workshop, and you can register for the event. Like I said, it's 100% free. It's actually live, and you're going to discover the 4 simple steps to becoming a sexual closer and get more hot girls into bed, avoid the friend zone for good, and learn John's proven step-by-step method. Go to unlockherlegs.com/closer and register your free spot right now.